Hey everybody, welcome back to the first For Goodness Sake episode in 3 months. I can't even believe it saying it. It doesn't feel like it's been 3 months since we've had an interaction, but it has been that long. Sorry it's been so long. That's kind of the big topic of today's videos. Why I've been gone for so long, what I've been up to, what's been going through my mind. But it is really good to be back, first of all. I do want to thank everybody for checking out this video again after so long, not hearing anything from me. I feel like I've let you guys down, genuinely. I know it's kind of a weird thing to feel like you have a responsibility to people that are on the other side of a camera who you don't really interact with in a certain way, but it does feel like that for me, and I'm honored that you guys choose to spend your time watching me and listening to my words and my opinions and my thoughts. So when I am gone for so long, when I give you guys kind of a timetable of what I want to put out content for you, I feel like I've let you down. So genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry. So let's just get right into why I've been gone. I have kind of been in a way lost. That's another way to say it. It's been a little bit of a hard time for me to figure out what my voice for you guys is gonna be and what I want to say and what topics to speak on. I have a lot of topics that I want to cover eventually, and hopefully they'll be coming out soon. But so I'm over a year now of making videos for you guys. And for the majority of that, every time I've made a video, it's just like the topic and the thing that I want to talk about has just come to me. And it's just felt so right. Like I could just feel that I need to make this video about this. And I need to say these things. And it's just felt so natural. But for a few months now, at least 3, probably a little bit before that too. But for a few months now, I've been feeling very unsure and uncertain. First of all, no videos have like really jumped out at me and felt like, hey, this is the one. This is like what you need to say. This is what you want to say. This feels right. So I've kind of been stuck with that, feeling like if it's not just coming to me like that, then why am I even talking about it? Why would I want to talk about all these other videos that I have planned when I'm not really passionate about it right now? I'm not feeling like that's important. So that's been a huge issue, is just not feeling like the video is right. Another thing I think that's been really difficult is not knowing what exactly the next steps are for me in this channel, not knowing whether I should be like trying to build a following for a certain reason, and if I should be, then what that reason should be. I'm very reluctant to just try and become an influencer for an influencer's sake, how people just kind of get on and that's their life, and I don't know if I want that. And that's not me trying to disparage anybody who makes a living on YouTube or on social media in general. Like, that's a career that is extremely cool that you can do that. It's a lot of work, and most people don't realize how much work they have to put in, so I completely respect the people that are able to do that. But I know that it requires a lot of commitment to put myself out there on display, and in ways more so than I have so far, and I'm not sure what exactly I'd get out of that. That's what I feel like I've been struggling with, what I'd get out of that, how I'd be able to help people if I did do that. And so I've just been really confused on what the next steps are for me in this channel and these videos, because I want to help as many people as I can with whatever experience I have or any information I can give or spread, and most importantly, all of the love that I'm able to put out, and hopefully it reaches you guys. I hope you feel that, and that's been the biggest issue for me, is not knowing how I can spread that love that I really do feel for all of you, and I really want you to receive and feel, when you watch my videos. So I'm still lost. Spoiler alert. I still don't know what the next steps are in terms of next year or 5 years from now for me, and I don't even know what next month looks like for me in many ways. I'm blessed to have some stability, so I know certain things, day-to-day things, but I have a lot of passion. I want to put my passion and my love and my energy into something that I can grow and build and hopefully give away to everybody like you watching, because that's what I feel like love is about. It's about, growing it into yourself and then being able to share it with the world, and hopefully they can kind of grow a little bit in themselves from what you took and then grow more on their own. So I don't know the answer of how to figure that out. I guess I'll take that back. I don't know the answer of what that is, but I think I'm figuring out how to figure it out. I think I'm working through the steps that I can take, everything that I have in my control to figure it out. And I think that that's really important. I've had a lot of fear. I think that's another huge thing that's blocked me from getting to this point. Fear that whatever I am doing isn't actually helpful to you guys. Whatever I am doing, if I make a video, it's not about something that is relevant, or something that I will do isn't about a video that's relevant, or isn't a video that's relevant to you guys. I have fears that I'm not spreading that love that I want to spread, not spreading any joy, because sometimes it's not about helping you guys become better people. Sometimes it's just about taking your mind off something, so some of the pain you have maybe, or some of the pain you see, and it's just about having a moment where you can breathe and enjoy something. That's something I've really struggled to have confidence in. I'm worried and fearful that I don't have what it takes to actually entertain you guys or help you guys, and therefore it's caused me to be really resistant to figuring out what my next steps are, I guess. I think that an important thing that I've had to learn and remind myself that has led to me to my point now, which is essentially just trying to figure everything out, but just putting myself on display through it, which is whatever I'm doing, I'm not doing it because I'm forced to. I'm not doing it because somebody put a gun to my head and said, you must upload this video at this time about this, It's literally because I'm lucky enough to be in a position to have a bunch of free time, from things like a full-time job, or something else, where I can just say, I want to do something productive. And what do I mean by productive? I want to do something that I enjoy doing, that isn't just, consumption. I do a lot of watching Netflix and Apple TV and everything under the sun, and reading and tons of things. But I want to do something also that is creative within me. And since I'm lucky enough to be able to choose to do that, because I love to just talk, I have this narcissistic quality of just wanting to talk to people all the time and wanting to talk about things that are important to me, that I care about. I'm very passionate about things that most people do not care at all about. Like maybe one person or 10 people that I know care about one of the things that I like, but then they're like, why do you care about all these other things? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm ridiculously passionate about things that are so sporadic and all over the place that it doesn't really make sense. That's why I love to argue too, I think, and and why everybody probably hates arguing with me, because it's like there's something so small and irrelevant, but I'm just like so passionate about it. I have to tell someone, I have to convince you to love it as much as me, or not like that thing as much as I don't like it for these reasons. So I'm really super passionate, and I love talking about things, and I love thinking about things, and so I like being an entertainer. I've done acting, and I was always trying to be the class clown, when I was in school, because I love entertaining people. I really do. I love making people laugh. I love making people smile. I love being a light that people can just like enjoy, So for all of those reasons, I like making these videos, and I've had to just remind myself I'm doing this because I like it. I'm doing this not because I'm forced to, or because I have a responsibility to anybody. But of course, you have responsibilities with everything. It's not to say that I'm just scot-free and I can just say completely harmful things to people without any care. It's just to say that if I'm so worried, if I'm so consumed with the fears I have of letting people down, or not helping anybody, or not spreading love, then I'm not even trying, then I'm losing out on what I started this all for, And I think that that's something that's completely relatable to you guys. I hope that's something completely relatable to you guys. And if it's not, then I'm just completely unrelatable, and I'm just sharing that with you. So that's just what this video is, that a completely unrelatable sharing session, venting session. But I think that it is something that a lot of you can relate with, where you are very passionate about something. You have the love for something, or maybe you have passion and energy and love and diligence in general, but you don't know what to put that into. You don't have the something to connect your vehicle into, your career, or into a studies, or maybe into just, doing something for fun, a hobby. So I just want to remind you that you're not alone, first of all, clearly, but then also just let you know some of the things that, can help you grow out of that. I don't believe there are ever going to be perfect answers. You're never just going to have the epiphany of like, oh, it's it. This is it. I figured it all out. I just woke up one day and I know exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm going to love it so much because of these reasons, because this vision just came to me. I don't believe that's how it works. And I think acknowledging that is probably a first step that's really helpful to figuring out what you want to do, actually getting to the place where you see the vision. Just acknowledging that it won't come in some epiphany, some like vision message from God or the universe, right? I think that you probably already know what you should do. That's for me. I'll turn it back to me, right? I want to know what I will be doing, maybe when I graduate this year, maybe in 5 years when I'm like trying to figure out my dream job, maybe in 10 years when I'm like hopefully in the middle of like my favorite job or profession that I could possibly be in. I want to know that, right? And I think that wanting that information, that down the road information, really blinds me, and the frustration with not having it, right? So I want to know what I'm doing in a year, 5 years, 10 years, and not knowing what I'm doing in a year, 5 years, 10 years is actually really getting me frustrated. And I'm so frustrated that I'm actually not putting my 100% into what I know I should be doing today. Right? I've talked about the goals that I've set and the habits that I've really worked hard to form in many videos, right? And you've seen progression. If you've seen my earlier videos, then you've seen my progression of like setting certain goals, not meeting them for even months at a time, and certain goals certainly not perfectly reaching even even today, a year later. But I think that you've seen a slow progression of accomplishing certain goals and then raising the bar for myself. That's what I always need to do. That's the lesson my mom always taught me. It's like, if you make it here, boom, now your next step is here, and you make it here, boom, next step is here. So that's always been my plan. Is so I accomplish a goal, boom, I set the goal higher, or I set a new goal, if that's what it is. So you've seen that in me. If you've seen my past videos, you've seen that I have been able to make steady progress on certain goals. And I'm bringing that up because those goals I set myself, like, I knew that these things were going to be helpful for me. And if I could do them, that would be good for me, because I wanted to do them, or because I know that they're healthy things, like they're things that will assist my mental or physical health, mental and physical health. I shouldn't separate them. So for either the reasons that I just completely wanted to do them out of novelty, or because I thought that they were going to make me a healthier, smarter, better functioning human being, I knew that those were the right things for me to do. And that's important, because when I say I think you guys know what you need to do, I don't mean you know what you need to do when you're 35 and like what you will be doing, you know what I mean? I don't mean even that you know what you'll need to do next year in your next, stage of your life, or in 5 years at that next stage of your life. I don't mean you know what to do in the future. I mean that me being frustrated at the fact that I don't know what to do in the future has actually taken my energy away from the things that I know I need to do in the present. And I'm assuming you guys are probably the same way. You might not know 10 different things that you need to do in the present, but I believe you know one thing. Like, I had a friend who was really, a funny guy. He would always talk to me about how, like, I sometimes I get frustrated because I don't eat quite the healthiest, and then I feel bad about the way I look. And then I also, like, maybe I'm smoking weed, or I'm smoking my vape, or, just other things that weren't healthy for him. And I get really frustrated at myself that I do that. And I do, sometimes I do better, and then I drop off. But I know this is the thing that I've been telling myself. I know I need to drink my, 6 to 8 ounces, or 6 to 8 glasses of water a day. And so every time I have a thought like that, I just go get a glass of water. And I've been drinking a lot more water, and I'm really happy about that. So for my friend, maybe he's failing on 2-3 different things that he knows he wants to change, just because he feels that he needs to change them. Not because anybody else thinks that he should, because he inside knows that he wants to change them. Maybe he's failing on those things, but he's succeeding on that one. And he's succeeding not because, it's easy, but it's because he's committed to consciously changing his behavior. Not all at once, but incrementally, over time. Sometimes big changes happen, and that's awesome. We, appreciate them when they do, because they're seldom, to come by. But more often, him, like all of us, we change by looking at something and making a commitment to trying every day as hard as we can at it. And when we fail, remembering, okay, I'm going to do better next time. And when we fail in a moment, we can remember, like, sometimes I'll go to the bathroom at 6 o'clock at night, and I'll be like, oh man, my pee isn't very, very clear today. Excuse me. And I'll remember, let me go grab it. I'll just chug a big glass of water right there. And it's not fixing everything, but it's remembering, hey, I've been failing earlier in this day, but I'm going to make a commitment to do better in this moment. So we can fail and then do better in the next moments that we can. Literally, in the next moments, we can change things, or we can do better on things. And we can fail in a day. Or longer than a day, a week, a month, a year, many years, obviously. It goes on and on. That's the beauty of the opportunities we have. We have an opportunity to correct the mistakes we've made in a single moment. And immediately when I chug that drink of water, I know, well, this moment I'm doing better. So now, when I have, when this glass is empty, I can fill it up, and then I can sip on it a little more, and then when that's empty, I got to get right back up, and I have another opportunity to go fill up the water and go drink it down. So I have another opportunity to be successful or fail. I've given myself an opportunity by being successful in that one moment. That's the same way when I wake up every day. It truly is a new opportunity to be successful in a day. Be successful in whatever you define as success. Hopefully it's not things that are extrinsic and in the world that have nothing to do with your control. If your definition of success is how many friends you have, or how many people like you, or how many girls like you, or how many boys like you, or how much money you make, those things are really hard to control. A lot of those things are not based on your control. Certainly you can do things to influence them, and if your combination of luck and influence is just right, then things will work out, and you will. But a lot of times those things take a lot more time, and they take a lot more help from outside forces, outside of your control, that is. So start looking inward. Start thinking about what success is for you inwardly. What would it mean for you to be a successful person? And you could sub success out with anything else. What would it mean for you to be a good person? What would you define as good? It's hard to separate that with the things people tell us is good, but try it. Try and think, okay, well, what do I really think is good? I know I've been told this and that. Do I agree with this? Do I agree with that? Yes, no? Okay, well, if it's a yes, I'm gonna add it to my list. This is what I need to do to be a successful person, or a good person. This is what I need to do to be the type of person I want to be. A lot of times we can think about what those traits are to us when we think about who do we like most, and what about them is it that we really like. Not that we're, trying to just steal everything from somebody, because you have your own value that's impeccable, and it's beautiful, and it's imperfect like all of us, but in the ways that you are perfectly designed, designed to be imperfect, it's beautiful. So but I'm not perfect, right? None of us are. And so one of the things that I know is I am really passionate and I love to argue. I would never change that for the world. That's and it's an awesome part of me that I really enjoy. It makes me a really passionate defender of the things I believe in and the people who I love, right? And I think that's really important to have in this world. There are people who are incredible, who maybe are not as passionate as me or are not as vocal as me, and they need people like me to say, I got your back. And I think that's my role in this world, or one of the many, right? We all have so many. So I wouldn't change that. But I do notice that one person in my life is such a great listener. And I think that it's really important. She listens, and she's just as passionate with her responses and with her arguments and with telling me off at many times. But she does so without interrupting me, without yelling at me or talking over me. Sometimes it's so hard for me not to just go from this voice to this voice, and much worse. I'm not trying to scream right now because I'm learning self-control, but I can go from a very, very quiet, calm demeanor to a very excitable, passionate yell, not because I'm angry, but because I'm just so emotionally overloaded that I just get into that zone. I do that so quickly. So what I notice is I don't need to change some innate part of me because other people are a certain way. I can always turn it on and turn it off quickly. That's awesome. That's an awesome skill to have. But what I can learn is to control that. I can learn to control that hyper passion, that energy that's just boiling over at any minute. I can learn to control it and talk to people down here and listen to them. And take notes in my head, take mental notes, not never argue again. That's not me. But learn to take notes on what they say, listen to them fully, and then respond. And at a certain point, I can also learn to let the argument die and just say, I agree to disagree. I respect your opinion. You come from this view. I'm coming from this view. Hey, that's what we're all about. Let's meet in the middle and just say, we can work together anyway. Obviously, not every opinion can end so peacefully for everybody, but I just mean, especially on trivial things, which I'm known to blow up into very passionate arguments. It's been a very important thing for me to learn the self-control of, I disagree, but I respect you. I see why you would feel that way. I consider these factors more important to me, but hey, I like the argument. I like talking with you. Thanks. And that's the type of thing that I mean, where we see things in other people that we know are things that we can do. We're often so good at grading other people in our lives, and then we kind of have a blind spot to ourselves. So I challenge you guys to forcibly remove the blind spot a little bit at a time, forcibly polish it off and make it a little bit more crystal clear. One day at a time. That's another task you'll fail and succeed at, day by day by day. But when you do that, you'll find the things that you really do admire in other people that you can change in yourself, that you can be better at. And it doesn't affect who you are. Your imperfect perfection is always going to be there with you. So don't be afraid of change, and don't be afraid of improvement of yourself. You are meant to improve. You are meant to succeed and fail and change along the way. It's part of life. So with that being said, that's my kind of challenge for you guys. It's essentially what I've been kind of afraid to share, is that I don't know my answers. I don't know where I'm at in the future, or distant future or otherwise. And since I don't know that, I don't feel very confident to lead, to tell you guys advice, to tell you guys how to live your life, or what to do when certain things happen, or what my opinion on certain political or current events are happening. I feel unsure because I don't feel qualified, and I feel like that's something that you guys can relate to as well, is that feeling of that imposter syndrome feeling, that feeling of not having the answers, so not wanting to advise anybody. And even if it manifests in different ways for you guys, that's definitely what I've been feeling for a while. And my solution that I've kind of outlined there is the only way I feel like any of us can really help each other out, is commit to doing the things I know I need to do, not for next week. Of course, there's things you can do to figure out what you want to do in the future. You need to spend time thinking about it and meditate on it and just sketch out ideas and give it time to marinate and come back to it and do it all over again and do other things. There's of course those things that you can do for the future, and that's important. But it's also very important to your future that you do your best right now. And that's been my solution, and that's why I'm talking to you right now, is I don't exactly have the perfect video for you guys right now. I really don't. I don't have the videos that I want to have that really speak for my soul. But right now I'm speaking for my soul. I'm speaking for my soul honestly, that I don't have those videos, but I'm going to keep making videos anyway. I'm going to find that voice. I'm going to find it. I'm going to search for it. I'm going to continue to plan out. I've planned out this video meticulously because I felt like it was important. If I can't just innately feel the voice, I gotta reach down and get it and see if I can create it with writing things out and planning things out, and in doing so, maybe I'll find it. That's my real desire. Maybe I'll find it in the pursuit of planning and meticulously devoting myself to the things in my life currently that I need to do, that I want to do, my goals and my habits and rituals that I know will help me physically and mentally. And so that's my advice as well for everyone who is looking for something about the future, or an answer, or is confused about where they're going in life. I'm with you. I'm here with you, seriously. Excuse me. I know that you can do whatever you want. I truly believe that if you have something within you that's calling your name, truly a passion inside of you, something that you thought about as a kid maybe, or something that you've only realized now, excuse me again, you truly do have the ability to do that. You have the ability to be anything you want to be, anyone that you want to be. It's not going to be easy. And the road to get there might not even be clear. But it starts with taking care of the road now. Taking care of what you need to do to feel good, what you need to do to function properly. Not everybody is the same. What you do to feel mentally and physically well may be different from what I do. I think there's going to be some overlap. I think everybody needs to get a solid amount of sleep every night, above 6 hours at least. Most people say 8 hours at least, I think everybody needs to drink water, a lot of it, probably about 100 ounces depending on how big you are, or small you are, right? I think everybody needs to be introspective and get some type of focused breathing and some movement in their life. Those are four things, that are probably universal, Again, I'm not qualified to say 100%, but I think that it's a pretty safe assumption that those are four things for everybody's mental and physical health. That's pretty important. The rest of the things may be different. I have been committed to reading books. That's been important for me. I've done well, and when I have been reading, it makes me feel better. That's just me. I think everybody probably should read some form or the other, but maybe committing to certain books or, certain topic. Maybe that's one of those other universal things now that I'm thinking about, honestly. But okay, another example would be I committed to trying to improving my Spanish, right? And it's been a little bit of an up and down goal for the record, since I told you guys about it in, I think, in May. But when I do it, it feels better. I'm excited to continue to do it. I'm excited to become perfectly fluent in Spanish. I'm just really excited for that. Your guys' goal might not be to learn another language, Spanish or otherwise. Your guys' goal might be to, go on more walks, or maybe it might be to learn to play the oboe, or it might just be to hang out with that person down your block that you really care about, but you haven't really made time for them because you've been busy doing other things. Or it might be to get off social media more and spend more time, creating media, or whatever it may be. But you have to find that out. You have to figure that out yourself. You have to search inwardly and decide who you want to be and what are the exact steps that you need to do to get there. Think about what you would do at this exact moment if you just had complete control, if there were nothing stopping you, if there was nothing in your way, and if you just had the perfect amount of willpower that you never gave into procrastination or wasting away on your couch watching Netflix or DC Universe films, as if you're like me. So when you ask yourself those questions, the answers that come to you, I think, are not only pretty clear at some point of asking, like maybe not right away, but if you do it consistently, they become very clear. The same things that keep recurring in your head of like, oh, well, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, maybe I should be doing this. But I think they're also very impactful. They start changing the way that your trajectory in life is. Start putting you on a different path than the one you're on. And that's very magical. That's very spiritual. That's very crazy physics. Honestly, there's a lot of different things that all things I'm not qualified to talk about yet, but that really they unfold in front of you. You know, you're changing the chemistry of your body by becoming a person who does something else. You know, you're changing your identity. So that's what I want to talk about today, or wanted to talk about today. I wanted to share with you guys today is, you know, how important it is that, you know, I get it. You don't have the answers. I know I don't. But that's okay. That's okay. You don't need the answers for a year or 6 months or even for tomorrow. All you need are the answers for what are you doing today? What should you be doing in this moment? And those answers are much more simple and easy to figure out. I think that's all I wanted to cover. I have a very late couple bonus though. I have a late quote of the day, but I have a bonus quote of the day for you. So there's two of those. I think that I think it really has been my passion, or my end goal at least, throughout the entire time that I've thought of making a podcast or a blog channel, and the entire time that I've been doing it. It's always been my end goal to help other people feel empowered to do the things in their life that they want to do and that they know they should do. And that's been something that I've always been lucky enough to receive, is messages from other people and individual people who have helped me do those things in my life that I want to do and I know I need to do. And so that's why I've been so passionate to try and help others do that. I hope you feel my passion, but if you don't, it's there. and even when beyond the passion, that's why I've been so frustrated with putting so much pressure on myself to do that, to try and help you all, and with me not knowing if I'm helping, it's been very that's why it's been so it's created a lot of resistance in me, and that's why it's been so hard for me to get over that resistance, because there's so much, you know, I feel blessed to have received in my life from my mom, from my schooling, from, you know, different teachers and coaches and mentors that I've had, my jobs, and the people in my work and my jobs, my bosses and the co-workers that I've had that have like really been caring as humans and not just like employees. And the opportunity to go to college, and where I go to school, and the people that I've met going to school, and my girlfriend, and just so many different strangers, you know, or random mentors that have just come into my life and just stayed because we've just built a connection, and in building that connection and sustaining that connection, they've helped me believe in myself and believe that I can do whatever I want to do. And that feeling is something that I can't quite explain, or maybe I can, but it's just hard, and it doesn't happen like that. But it is something that I'm trying to recreate. And when I'm unsure if I'm recreating it, it's been really hard for me to just get over it and let it go. So that's always going to be my goal. That's always going to be in the back of my head, is me trying to recreate that feeling of you can do it. Me trying to be that secret messenger that you didn't even know was coming for you, to tell you, you got this. Believe in yourself. You are the one that you've been waiting for. You are the person that you've believed in. You are the person who is the change that you are looking for and waiting on. I'm going to keep doing that in the way that I commit to making content and trying to find that voice, both with my planning of making my videos, the way I'm changing how I make videos, and with the new platforms that I've devoted to, for goodness sake. I have a new a new Instagram page, and a new Twitter that are both dedicated to creating and sending content to you guys that will do that. And I've been reluctant to use both so far for the same reasons I've been reluctant to make a video. I've been scared that fearful that voice isn't coming through and that message isn't being delivered. And it's been something that's just really inhibiting for me. But all of this is out of love. My love for you, my love for myself, my love for everybody, in the universe. So I'm taking my leap. I'm just creating with the intentions that I have, creating with love. And if it fails, that's okay. When it fails, that will be okay, because I will fail. We will all fail many, many, many times before we succeed. And then we'll fail many more times before we succeed again. So when it fails, I am challenging myself to continue on that path. When I'm not sure if it's successful, I challenge myself to push forward, regardless, to try again, to try and learn where I failed and try and learn where I can succeed, even if it's not quite a failure. I'm doing this out of love. Love doesn't care about the end result. The intentions is what's important. And when you have that love as your base intentions, you can always improve. Not to say that, you should just continue to fail forever if it doesn't land and it hurts somebody, It's to say that if you start with love, you know that your intentions were pure. So therefore, you can change the outcome. You can change the mode of which you went about whatever you did with that loving intention. Because the intention is what's important. If I find out that videos are not the way for me and I need to just turn into like a painter, and that's the way that I can get my love message across. Well, it's like, who cares about all these videos that I've failed on? Because the intention was love, and I can now put the intention into something that will help create more love. That's what's important. If I find out that my videos were actually hurting people and I need to come out in public, apologize and say, I screwed this up, XYZ, I don't care about that. It's totally more important to me that I get that end result of love than I save face, from all the people I've hurt, from apologizing to all the people I've hurt with the videos. Obviously, this is, hypothetical, but it's more important that I apologize to them than I save my pride from, oh, well, I did it the right way. I was just trying to be loving. You guys got to figure it out. That's not important. The outcome is important because the intention is love. So growing the love is what's important. I hope that made any sense. I feel like you get me. I feel like you understand me. So that's my commitment to you. Just trying to create more love in every way I can. I have, like I said, 2 quotes of the day. Quotes of the day. It's singular day, plural quotes. 2 quotes of the day, and I think that they've perfectly encapsulated what I've been trying to learn and remember and reteach myself, and what I'll have to reteach myself in the future. And I hope that you will continue to teach yourself this lesson as well, these lessons. So the first is from Sheryl Sandberg. Don't know her. Thanks for the quote, Sheryl. Thanks for the QOTD. We really appreciate you. This quote is, true leadership stems from individuality that is honestly and sometimes imperfectly expressed. Leaders should strive for authenticity over perfection. And that's what I'm trying to remind myself, that you don't need to have somebody who's qualified and knows exactly what to say in every moment. I'm trying to remind myself, you need to have somebody who's honest when he doesn't have the answers, who shares his struggles and shares his missteps. That's how I think I can help you best. Okay, lock that one in. Second quote of the day, our bonus quote of the day, from Tom Peters. Again, don't know him. Thanks, Tom. For goodness sake, loves you. Leaders don't create followers. They create more leaders. And that's the other part of I'm trying to remind myself that I don't need to be perfect, because I'm not trying to create people who just come to me for all the answers. I'm trying to create people who no longer go to other people for answers. And that's obviously unrealistic to some extent. We'll all always follow different people and love their advice and find inspiration. But I hope that my videos inspire you to be a fan of yourself. Something Kanye West, actually, so we can have a third quote of the day, actually. You guys just getting bonus for the 3 months that I was gone. You get your 3 quotes of the day today. Kanye West had something that I really liked when he was talking about his music. He said, if you're a fan of my music, or if you're a fan of me, you're not a fan of me, you're a fan of myself, because I make music to inspire you and make you believe in yourself. So that was a paraphrase for the record, but at least the tail end of it was. But the idea that if you're a fan of me, you're actually a fan of you, is something that I really, really love. And I want to hang on to that, and I want to create that in the content of art that I make. I want you guys to come to me and go away with like, oh yeah, I'm the baddest, I'm the coolest, I'm the best, I'm the smartest. Not because you're smarter than anybody else, but because we all are. We are all awesome. You know what I mean? It's not like an actual differential ranking of like smartness or badness. You know, it's like I want you to take the feelings that you get. I want you to watch a video of me speaking into a camera and feel something that makes you go away and say, why can't I be the coolest trash man on campus or trash lady on campus? Why can't I go around and learn to be the coolest drummer that I can be? You know, why can't I achieve my dreams? Oh yeah, I can. You know, that's what I want you to take away. So 3 quotes of the day. Don't follow me, follow yourself, because you followed me. All right, I'm digressing. I'll let you go. Be safe. This is we're seeing like a third wave of this pandemic coming back around, because we never really got the first wave under control. The second wave still blew around, and then now fall and winter on the way. So the president of the United States has COVID because he doesn't want to wear a mask, because he doesn't want to take any precautions, because he's gross, kind of just gross. You know what I mean? Doesn't he look like? I know guys have struggles, have some issues washing their hands. He looks like one of those guys that just like goes to the bathroom and then walks out of the public bathroom, doesn't touch anything, you know, to clean his hands off. He doesn't even do that like courteous, like fake, you know, turn the water on, rinse your hands for a second, then leave. Like some people do that. I see a lot of dudes doing that. I'm telling you, I'm on you guys. Like, wash your hands, please. He doesn't even do that. He just like goes to the bathroom, totally like wipes his nose on the way out, like. You know, that's what Trump seems like to me. I'm totally like, you know, hypothesizing on, we'll say that, hypothesizing on what he is, but and assuming what he'd be like. But President of the United States has COVID. FLOTUS has COVID. First Lady of the United States. This is insane times, man. Like, if they can get it, you can get it. Believe that. All right. Be safe. Be extra safe. Wash your hands more than what you think is even rational. Drink lots of water, so you're constantly going to the bathroom, so you constantly have to wash your hands. That's my trick. It's like, I'm constantly going to the bathroom, I constantly have to wash my hands. So it's a cycle that feeds into itself. Register to vote. There's I think in most states, it's different for every state. In Minnesota, I think there's like 12 days left to register to vote. So do that. That's very important. Let your voice be heard. I guarantee you, anybody that you disagree with, that's like, you're like, why is that person's a slime ball, man? Like, why their opinions like suck. They're out voting. They're out like making sure that representatives either adhere to their words or at least know that their voice was amongst the people that were against them. You know, if they're not the winners, right? Like, we have to remember that 100 million people in America, 100 million people in America do not vote every year. And if that changed, that would be a very different political system. And we need to change a whole bunch with the political system. And we need to protest to demand those changes. And we need to protest to demand changes in other sectors. So many things cannot be changed with just voting alone, okay? But I will say this. 100 million people do not vote in this country. 100 people, like, literally never vote. That's not to say, like, the other ones that vote for, like, a president, but not a midterm. Like, 100 million people flat out do not vote. 1/3 of this country. If 1/3 of this country was in there, like, saying to some politician, whether it's a Republican or a Democrat or some other party, and they're like, I'm getting behind these guys and these gals, so you guys can figure out, if you don't have these policies that these guys and gals have, man, you're not getting my vote. That would be a lot of difference. That would be a game changer. So get out, register to vote, make sure you vote, get your mail-in ballot, get your in-person ballot, just bundle up with your face mask and gloves. I don't care. You do it. You can do it. It's important. Do it. What else? Yeah, I mean, stay safe and do something you love, man. Do something you care about today. It doesn't have to be for a long period of time, you know? You can just pick something up that you haven't done in a while that you know you love and you miss. Do it. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Maybe you get lost and you do it for an hour. Who cares? Just do something you love. It's important. It'll help you out. It'll help your the way you feel. So, all right. I love you guys. Thanks for bearing with my absence. And we'll talk soon. Much sooner than the last time I said that in June. All right. See you later.